Yo, what is going on, everyone? I wanted to hop on real quick. I haven't hopped on a live video in a while, so I wanted to hop on and just talk about something that's been on my mind for a while, and I wanted to talk about the number one reason why people lose. And let's jump into it. So, from what I've seen or what I've experienced, the number one reason why most people lose is because they don't view themselves as winners. And basically, what I mean by that is like you could be winning in a lot of things, but if you don't take the time to realize that or appreciate those wins, then you'll never view yourself as a winner. And a lot of this happens when we compare ourselves to others. And it's very easy in today's world, especially with social media, and all the things that people post. Basically, people post the highlight reels of their life. So you could very easily get caught up in, not viewing yourself as good enough, and when you're comparing yourself to others, and that can be a dangerous thing. So, I wanted to get on here and I want to talk about, start to appreciate. First of all, stop comparing yourself to others and start to appreciate the wins you have. Like, I know it's easy, like to this day, like even like before I paid off my debt, like I used to struggle a lot with getting my debt paid off because I would instead of looking at the people that were debt free and had their debt paid off, like I would compare myself to those people. And, I would say things like, oh, I don't make enough money, or they make more money than me. Things like that would discourage me from taking a start and, you know, actually like just realizing like, what, like my situation is different. And like, let me realize like my wins, just because you don't start and if you're using debt as a situation, just because if you don't start out and you make a big lump sum payment of, paying off a lot. I think like the biggest I paid off in 1 month was like 15 grand. But before that, like if I would have never taken the step to realize that, like that first $100 that I paid off was a win, because it's a win because it's more than what I had previously done. And, I take that in the same lesson in business. Like, there's people that have started out, sooner than me, or started out, haven't been doing this much longer than me, that make a lot more money than me. And if I get caught up and, comparing myself to them and feeling like I'm not good enough, instead of appreciating, the things that I've done and, the income that I brought in and the clients that I helped, then I can easily go back and see myself as losing if I'm trying to compare myself to someone else. So I always like to go along the lines of just comparing myself to myself. And that's the only meter that I'm measuring, is now how I can improve daily and how I can improve on past goals. So, for example, like if you're starting a business or you're just starting to get revenue, or maybe you're starting a YouTube channel, if you're starting out and you're seeing all these people that, maybe started 5 or 6 months ago, and all of a sudden, like, they're monetized and they're getting thousands and thousands of views and thousands of likes on their videos, and you've been at it for a year, maybe 2 years consistently, and you still haven't got to that point. Well, don't compare yourself to them. Like, continue to put out your content, continue to put out your value, and it's going to come. Same thing, like if you're starting a business, like, like getting, I remember when I got the first contract that I got, and it wasn't very much, but it was more than what I had. And it was a win for me because I've gotten that first contract. And then from there, like, I tried to micro the goals, or make like micro goals. Like if I can get one contract this month, then maybe let me challenge myself next month to get two contracts. If I got a contract for $500 my first one, because I'm just getting started and I'm just getting the experience, maybe when I get more experience and maybe when I get to the third or fourth client, then okay, then I can increase my price because I have more experience. Like I can do my first $1,000 contract or $2,000 contract or $5,000 contract, because you get experience and you celebrate those wins as you go. So it's not a loss if you don't come out the gate swinging, or you're not like at the top of your field or at the top of your game or niche. Like, don't be comparing yourself to others, because again, like I said, that can be dangerous. So another thing that I see too is, this is dangerous because, and a lot of reasons why people don't win is because if you want to increase your net worth and you want to make more money, or whatever your goal is, you want to pay more debt, you first have to realize like your worth. Like that is key. And like you can never, like if you view yourself as not good enough or you view yourself, as average, then you're never going to accomplish the great things or goals that you have set out. Like you have to realize your talents, realize your strengths, realize what makes you great, and realize that you deserve success. Like I remember like when I go back to when I first paid off my dad, or when I started my business, like this is the most, like, not to brag, like this is the most income that I had made at this certain point in my career. But I can remember when I first started out my career, like my first job, I was making like $20,000 a year. And I remember at the time thinking like, man, if I just made, 25,000 to $30,000, like, man, my life would be so much different. And I got to making 30,000, and I was like, okay, if I made $50,000 a year, then man, my life would be good. I would have no worries, I would have no problems, and everything would be solved. So I got to 50,000, and guess what? Like now it's like, okay, now if I can get to $75,000 a year, then great. Like life would be good, life would be great. And then I got to 75, and then I was like, okay, let me get to six figures. Let me cross the six-figure mark, and things are really going to be great. And I got to six figures, and I started to realize, like for me, like after like 75,000, like things never really changed. And the reason that is because I never really took the time to appreciate those things, and I never really like I was valuing money or putting like a target of getting income in as that would automatically like increase my happiness or automatically like change my perspective of life. But during that time, since I never took the time to, appreciate the process or appreciate the things when I got to those certain milestones, like it just never, everything never seemed enough. And then it wasn't until like, this past year where I realized like, once you get to a certain income, like if you don't take care of yourself, yes, I can go out and, I can work as hard as I can and, just grind myself, work 80 hours a week or whatever, and still not be happy if I don't take care of the things that I need to take care of or just appreciate the process. So, definitely like take the time to realize those wins. I know I've mentioned that several times in this video, but I think it's an important thing that you guys should realize. And like it's part of the process is making sure that you realize the wins. Another thing is, if you're in a business or you're thinking about starting a business, like stop undercharging for your products and services, and stop taking on clients that constantly complain and don't realize what they're getting. So I never, like I have I do some projects by my hourly rate, and which I first started out, but now I'm doing more projects by a retainer, or set retainer, not for hours, not an hourly rate, just based on the project. And if I run across a client and I give a quote, or tell them like the services and stuff that I can offer, or once I get my proposal, like if they say I'm too expensive, like they want to negotiate the price, then I just flat out tell them that, like, hey, if you're going to be, if money's going to be a problem, or, if, like you feel like I'm not worth what I'm telling you, then like it's probably best that we don't work together, and it's fine. And I've walked away from some deals because of that. And that's totally fine because I know my worth, I know what I bring, and I know the value that I can bring by all the clients that I've worked with and that I'm currently working with. So never undercut yourself. And that can be the same thing in a job too. If you're going to negotiate a salary, you're starting a new job, you're negotiating your salary there, or you're coming up for a review and you're negotiating your salary, don't accept less than what you're worth. Like advocate for yourself, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to advocate more for you than yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody's going to advocate for you. When I used to work and I used to manage people, like all the time, they used to be like, what do I need to do to get a raise? And like, you have to speak up because it's not going to come. Like you have to be able to go to bat for yourself and believe in yourself. Next thing too that holds people back and, makes people lose is being in toxic relationships. So end all relationships where people don't value you. Don't let people push around. Don't let people treat you poorly. Don't let people control or mismanage your time. I always get like people always ask me, well, how do you manage your time working for yourself or you're being a contractor, like how do you manage that? And I always tell them like people will only respect your time as much as you respect your time. So you have to put boundaries in place. Um, so I let all my clients know, like, I'm going to be available. These are my hours that I work. I'm available during these times. And, for certain clients, I do have it set up where they have my personal number if there's an emergency, but I clarify that upfront what an emergency is. And honestly, it may have been like once or twice where that's been used. Where like, a whole website or something goes down. Okay, that's an emergency. But just like normal tasks or like normal questions and stuff like that, like you have to have boundaries set in place. So otherwise, you're going to be working 24/7, nonstop, and you're just going to be totally in a reactive state. So, you definitely have to put those values in place. And the next thing is like, I talked about like your worth. Like that's why I'm at the point now where I'm able to, charge the rates that I'm charged, is because I believe that's what I'm worth, and I believe that's the value I provide. So I encourage you today to make today that, this is the day that you realize that you start telling yourself that you are a winner. You start realizing how great you are, what talents you have, what your worth is. Starting today, do that. I'm telling you, you do that and it will change the game for you. Like seriously, like it will change the way you, celebrate your wins and see your wins and start comparing yourself to yourself and start improving daily on a daily basis of how you can improve and beat previous milestones, but also appreciate those milestones at the same time. Things will start to change and you will start to see yourself as a winner. So, if you're watching this video, comment your thoughts below. Your comments, well, I'm gonna try to get back to all your comments. I really want to get you guys' feedback and I really want to get more interaction on these videos. So go ahead and put your comments below and I'll try my best to read everyone. I will read every one of them and I will comment back to all of them. So again, this is Lewis Pike. If you guys haven't subscribed or checked out the channel, go ahead and subscribe, click the little belly, click the bell. And I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm going to try to do a few more live videos. I know I'm putting out content, like I'm trying to put out videos, like trying to be more consistent with putting out videos 3 times a week, but I'm going to try to do some live videos in there in between as well. So I'll try to schedule, if you try to schedule these so people can be on and talk and chat. So these first couple of weeks, the first couple of months, it may just be random where I get on to do the lives, but definitely leave your comments below if you guys would like to do more of these and get more interaction, and I'll see you guys on the next video.